Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another beer review. Hope you're all well. In this one, we are heading off over there. So it's going to be one of the machines. We're heading off to the Heineken Sub, the Krupp Sub, whatever you want to call it. And we are taking a look at Affligem Double. We are taking a look at the Affligem Double. 2 litre tall. It's coming in at 6.7%. And I bought it when it was 20% off, I think, or 25% off. It was one of them. Certainly it was 25% off. I think it cost me about £9.59, something like that. I think it's normally about £12.99. I have tried to check on the price, but currently it is not on the website. So whether they have stopped doing it, the triple is out of stock, the blonde is on there, but the double's gone off the website. So I don't know if they're stopping doing it. So we are going to take a look at that now. It's probably a pointless video because if they have stopped it, you're not going to be able to get hold of it. But I can give you my views on it, and yeah, and you can see whether you decide to go and buy some bottles or something. So glass is at the ready. Nice Affligem glass there, which the mother-in-law and father-in-law bought back for me from France, I think it was, or Belgium. They bought a couple. So it'll be going in that. Now, obviously, this double probably doesn't want to be drunk any less than 9 degrees, something like that, really. But unfortunately, the sub does chill down to 2 degrees. It's in there. Now, I had a bit of an issue with it. I'll be honest with you. I had a bit of an issue with it. I'll tell you that when I come back after the pour. But I'm going to get over there, do the pour, come back, and we'll crack on. So, we are back with beer in glass. Now, not massively carbonated or a massive head on it. Now, I'll tell you what happened, and I'm not sure whether that has affected this. But I put it in, it'd be a week last Friday, I think. It's been in for about a week and a half now, but I put it in and didn't touch it for about a week and decided to try it. But I noticed it was like something had leaked out of it. So I done something you shouldn't do, and that was open up the thing and sort of have a look inside. You're not supposed to because it depressurizes, but I hadn't had a drink out of it, so it didn't really matter too much. But I noticed it had leaked inside as well. There was nothing from the back. There was nothing dripping out when I pulled the top out, but there was a little bit of a beer in the chamber. So I can only assume that what I'd done was not quite push that the pipe in far enough on the bottle. So I'd give it a little bit more of a push and that. And since then, I've had no leaks or anything and didn't notice anything straight away. Obviously, the downside to that, if it has been leaking, maybe the air's got out, I have lost a little bit of beer and that. So has it affected the beer? Well, I'll be honest, I've had a couple of glasses and I don't think it has. Though, I could be wrong. Maybe it's lost a little bit of carbonation, maybe. But that was a little bit of a trauma ride with it. So beer in a glass, like I said, well, I didn't get around to saying, but the first glass I had actually had quite a good, thick, fluffy head. Now I've poured that straight, so you would expect more. So it has died off, but it is also the sort of beer that will sort of die down a bit and leave it like that. But it's ice cold, obviously, at 2 degrees, not ideal. But beer in a glass is a lovely sort of deep chestnut looking colour. It had that much head on it. It's now just a dusting around the edge, really, if I'm honest, as you can see. I think it is a nucleated glass. And there is a bit of carbonation going up. There's not a lot. It doesn't look massively carbonated. So, Affligem Double. Let's try and dive in on the nose and see what we get. And to be fair, you still get the aromas, even though it's so cold. Malty. Maybe a little dark fruity sort of note. For me, I'm definitely getting caramel in there. It's got big notes of caramel. It smells quite rich. A little sweet edge with that caramel. But yeah, I mean, considering how cold it is for this style of beer, it is still packing a good aroma. So I'm going to stop waffling. Let's dive in. Affligem Double, 6.7% from the Heineken Sub. let's dive in. Cheers, everyone. Okay, let's go in again. I will say, I think it has lost a little bit of something there. Now, whether that's, obviously, if it was leaking or something, there could have possibly been air somehow leaking in, or if stuff was coming out. If it was leaking out, obviously wasn't sealed properly, so something would have happened. Body-wise on this beer, it's nice. It does feel a little bit light. It does feel, I say light, it does feel a little bit light, and it maybe feels just a little bit watery. But it's got maybe that little watery feel of something that is slightly flat, a little bit flat. That's the sort of body on this for me. And I don't think, because I know what's happened and what I've told you what's happened, I think that may be why it feels a little bit dead in body. Yeah, the body feels a bit light. Again, like I say, like the carbonation's gone. I don't recall it ever being massively carbonated, because I had 2 or 3 tulps. I think I bought of these. So I've had 2 already. This is my last one. So I do know what it is like and what it's supposed to be like. So I do think like it's lost a little bit in body because of that lack of carbonation, which seems odd. But I think the carbonation sort of fills out a beer a little bit. There were still bubbles in there, don't get me wrong. But I think there's less bubbles in there. The mouthfeel is nice and smooth. And it does go down well. Taste-wise, it's very similar to sort of what you're getting on the nose, but I think there is a little bit more. But again, it doesn't quite taste 100% for me. I'm not going to say it's gone off or anything. But if you left a bottle of Coke or something that wasn't quite tightened enough over a few days and that, it sort of loses that a little bit. And I think maybe this beer has, which isn't maybe the Tulp's fault or Beer Wolf's fault. It's going to be my fault. Malty, quite a rich maltiness. Dark fruits, you get dark fruit sort of note. You do pick up the booziness, the 6.7%. And again, I think sometimes you can pick the booziness up when a beer starts going a little bit flat maybe, and that could be part of it, though I do recall thinking it was a bit boozy. But when it loses that carbonation again, you sort of feel stuff more, normally the bad things if you like, and that's how this feels for me. As I say, rich, malty, there's almost a roasty feel. You get the booziness in there. Behind that, the caramel, subtle caramel notes. And it leaves you with a little bit of a bitterness in there. Now I'm trying to figure out, I swear when I had it the other day before, you know, literally when I first poured some, I felt there was a bit of an aniseed sort of feel, licorice feel if you like. I think it is still there. But again, it's something that you don't notice it so much. It's got a spicy feel as well, I'm going to say. There's a spiciness to it. Now maybe I'm noticing that because some of the other flavours are sort of dulling down a bit, but yeah, a sort of cinnamon. It's almost a wintry kind of feel in there. It does feel like there's sort of cinnamon, pardon me, or a little bit of nutmeg. And as you can tell from that bit of gas, clearly this beer isn't completely flat. But yeah, it's a decent beer. Like I say, the first glass I had, and I've had it before anyway, I've had 2 other talks of this. It's a decent beer, but I do think I'm reviewing this, unfortunately, I'm reviewing it at a time where it's probably degraded a little bit in the machine, obviously with it leaking a little bit. But it's still a decent drop. So yeah, would I recommend it? If it happens to come back out again on the sub, like I say, it's not showing on the Beowulf website, so I don't know if maybe they're getting rid of it, maybe they've just taken it off because there's no sign of it in the near future, if you like. But yeah, if you like this sort of stuff, I think you're going to like this. £12.99, like I say, I'm guessing at that, but it's going to be about that because I think I paid about £9.59 for it. Is it worth it? Yes, I think it is. You've got to look. Now, Affligem, I know in bottles, comes in 300ml bottles. Now, this is a 300ml glass. Talks are 2 litres. So, you're getting 6.5 glasses out of that. If you look at a bottle of a 300ml bottle of that, it's going to cost you minimal of £2, if not £2.50. So comparing it to bottles, if you're getting 6.5, the equivalent of 6.5 bottles out of your talp, even at £12.99, it's coming in the same sort of price as bottles, but you are getting the draft experience, of course, unless you have the problem I had. But if you do get it on offer, or it is a little bit cheaper, it's good value for money, to be honest. So yeah, for me, like I say, Affligem double, decent drop. If you like your dark beers and that, you'll like it. The only downside, really, 2 degrees. Yes, people say you can wait for it. Why do you want to pour a beer and wait for it to warm up? You don't. So maybe, who knows if this video will go up, obviously, but it'd be interesting to see if Heineken sort of upped their game and decided to do, I don't know, a sub, a blade or something with temperature control, because for the perfect draft, that was a game changer. So I think the Heineken need to up their game. But like we say, talking about this beer, give it a go. It's recommended from me. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you've had it before, let me know what you think. Feel free to comment. Thank you all for watching. I've got an itch, and I'll see you on another one. Cheers.